Hello everyone. If you guys have been watching the videos, you just saw that I got all the pigs are butchered now. Everything's in the freezer. I kept out one of the hinds and I'm going to make my own ham. I've never done this before. I'm going to do a wet brine. It's real interesting doing all the research on it where making a ham and using the pink salt and stuff like that, it really isn't that much for preservation. It's to make it into a ham. So I mean it'll stay in the refrigerator for like a month without freezing it or anything, but it's nothing like doing a dry cure where you're really curing that ham where it could sit out for a year. Anyway, it's been really interesting. Been a lot of different, do you boil the brine, do you not boil the brine, spices, no spices, and stuff like that. And I think I kind of finally came up with what I'm going to do. What I decided to do is I'm not going to use any, some people put pickling spice. I saw lists of all this different stuff people put in there sometimes, and then you get into, do I want a Spanish ham? Do I want a European ham? I just want a ham. So we're just going to be using kosher salt, brown sugar, Prague powder or pink salt #1, and water. That's it. The ham that we're going to be brining is just about 14 pounds. So we are going to add 1.5 cups of kosher salt, 2 cups of brown sugar, and I kind of lightly pack that in there. We're also going to add 8 teaspoons of pink salt #1. Now I'm just going to put that here on the stove. Get this all mixed up, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. There were some places, a lot of places, that didn't bring it to a boil. Yeah, but some of them did, and it was like, I'm really not sure. But yeah, I have to bring it back down and cool this off once it's boiled, but it's not even freezing outside today. It's still about 28, so that really won't take that long. So I opted to go ahead and bring it to a boil. This is almost up to a boil now. I know there's some recipes that did not call for that pink salt either, the pink salt #1. You can't, got to make sure you're not doing Himalayan pink salt. But after reading everything, and it's just better to be safe than sorry, and you're not putting that many nitrates into the meat. So what I'm going to brine this in, I'm going to use, this is a food grade bucket here. A lot of places want you to use, they have like a Ziploc bag that goes inside of a pail. But those are, 2 of them would run almost $17, so I can get this here for under $4. So I bought a couple of these because I use them for collecting the sap when I'm doing syrup and everything, and you just always can use an extra bucket. Alright, we're up to a boil, so I'm just going to take this and set it outside and let this cool down till it's not quite cold. I want it to be like 40 or 50 degrees. Okay, well the brine is all ready to go. It's really cold. Now this is a concentrate, so I'm going to be adding water to it. I can add up to 2 gallons of water to dilute this. So what I did is I took and put this piece of pork in the 5-gallon bucket, filled up the bucket till it was about an inch above, and then I counted how many quarts were in there. And anyway, the total that I needed to add to it to get over the top is 5 quarts of water and then my 4 quarts of brine. So I'm going to now put this in with the water that I have in the bucket and get that all mixed up. One of the things that was, you don't have to do it or you do have to do it, it all depends, was go ahead and taking a brining needle and actually getting it in there and putting some of the cure inside of it. A lot of places don't. Some people said do, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to put a lot in there. But since I have one, I am going to get it into some of the thicker places, just to, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 spots, just to make sure. As you can see, I threw in a couple of ice chunks. For some reason they want that water really cold. I suppose it's just so when it goes into the refrigerator, it doesn't take a long time for it to cool down. Well, there we go. It's all submerged, and now it just has to sit there for 1 day for every 2 pounds. There we go, it's in the fridge. I put on the day and the time that I put it in there so I don't forget. because just above it I've got bacon that went in last Thursday, or pork belly that will be bacon. You just can't keep track. Alright, well, it's been 1 week and about 3 hours. I decided to leave this in for one extra day because you know, we're looking at like 12 to 14 pounds and it wasn't a digital scale. So anyway, now it's time to take this out, get it rinsed off, and then go to the next step. So there's our ham after a week here, and it said to make sure, you know, I checked this 2 times during the week, and I didn't want to have any scum that was growing on the water, no foul smells, nothing. And I mean, it's a little bit red because there's of course blood in the meat, but otherwise it looks really good. Well, there we have it. Roughly a 12 to 14 pound ham is fully cured. The next step is to just put it in the refrigerator, like I said, and let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow we'll start the smoking process. I'm going to actually slice off a little piece of this and fry it up, see how it tastes, make sure I don't die before anybody else does, because I'm going to be cooking this up Easter weekend. Alright, I just want to get a little taste of this. It's definitely not too salty, which is what I was worried about. I don't know if it tastes like a ham yet, but then I've never just fried up a piece of ham, but it sure is good. It's the next morning here. Right now I'm just getting the smoker all ready to go, and then we're going to throw this ham in there. We're starting to get a little smoke, so I think I'll throw it in. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave this in there, let it smoke. I am doing this as a hotter smoke. I've got my barrier right there to keep the heat down. I might have to add the second hot plate in here. I have to wait and see. It's about 34 degrees right now, but it's supposed to get up to close to 60, so I'll watch it. I want the internal temperature to get up around 140. I'm actually going to finish this off in the roaster the day that I cook it up. So for right now, we'll just shut this up and let it smoke. I'm actually just going to throw a meat thermometer right in there. That'll kind of tell me what the temp is in here, and then I can use my digital one if I need to. Well, we've reached 140 inside. Took about 10.5 hours. Look at the color of that. That is beautiful. Well, there it is, all done. Home grown, home cured, home smoked. And now I've got about a dozen people coming over on Easter weekend. I'm going to put this in the roaster. And I'm going to do about a 20-pound turkey in the other roaster. And this one here now I'll heat up to 160, 165. I just want to make sure everything is safe. So thanks a lot for watching. I'm not going to hold this video over until we eat it. I'll just have to let you guys know later on Facebook. Thanks a lot for watching. I really want to cut a piece of that off and try it like I did before. I'm just going to have to wait.